Hey, 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 Aloha remote marketing agency owners and remote millionaires. Welcome to the Friday Aloha Marketing Jam Session. I'm Tom Gaddis. I'm flying solo today, but don't worry, I got a special guest we're going to bring out. You don't just have to deal with me for the next hour, so lucky you. But we got a big show lined up for you. We're going to talk about how to make cash fast and build your authority in one fell swoop, right? I mean, I know everybody on here wants to make some dough, right? If you want to make some dough, stick it in the comments there. But you also want to create authority for yourself. And that is a sticking point for a lot of people. And today we're going to talk to a special guest. We're going to talk about that. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to do some shout outs. We'll give away some Cash App money. It's going to be an all around fun show. So why don't you grab a cool drink and I will see you back here in one momento.
It's now time, the moment you've been waiting for. Get ready for the fastest 60 minutes of marketing strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. After 167 agonizing hours, they've finally returned. From the sun-soaked Sin City and the sandy shores of Maui, Hawaii, now back for a brand new Aloha Marketing Jam Session. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks and Remote Millionaires, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
Oh, listen to that applause out there. Man, everybody sounds fired up. Fired up. Yeah, so you're stuck with me today. Nick is actually in Alaska on a couple-day fishing trip. So it was so funny. He sent me some pictures yesterday. They flew in like one of those little Cessnas with the pontoons that lands on the water. It's like, I don't know. That's pretty, that's an experience I have not had. So he's in a pretty remote part of Alaska, but man, they are catching tons of fish. He said they landed, they got on a boat, and within like 10 minutes, he had caught 3 salmon. So bringing in quite the haul. Looks like we'll be eating fish for a while once he gets back. But, welcome, everybody. Let's see who is here. Mr. Dorn Britton, what's up? Michael, welcome, everybody. Taylor, Chandra, Bill, Norm, what's up, everybody? Bush plane, yeah, that's what they call it. Dorn a bush plane. Enrique, Michael, where's our she sharks? I don't see any she sharks in the comments. Where's Jacqueline? Where's everybody at? Well, I know they'll be here. Corey, hey, Corey, there's a she shark. All right. There we go. Awesome. Well, welcome to the Friday Marketing Live Jam Session. We got a couple of things to go over. I'm going to go through some shout outs. I'm going to do our member of the week. Again, we're going to be talking about generating income and building authority for your agency, which I think is a topic that really gets overlooked a lot when we're talking about building a business, because when you tell somebody like, oh yeah, you need authority, you need to be seen as an expert, everybody nods their head. But most people are focusing on prospecting methods that don't do that. And they're not really doing it in their agency, right? Like, how do you do that when you don't have a client, when you've only had a few clients, when you're rolling out a new service? Like, how do you establish that authority and credibility before you actually get that authority and credibility, right? Now, we have a couple of ways to do that in our business. And one of the ways we're going to be talking about today. So you guys are going to love it. And if you've been struggling with that, you're going to want to ask questions, pay attention, and you're going to go want to watch a replay of the training we did on Wednesday, because we went into a lot of detail on that. So we'll get to that. So first, let's start off with some shark shout out. Oh, Jacqueline, what's up? Awesome. Okay, let's start off with some shark shout outs. And I'm going to share my screen here. Oh, man, we are getting so close to $1 million. Ugh, I can taste it. All right, here we go. I'm going to share my screen, and can you guys see that? Everybody can see that? What? Well, Dorn, this is a Whoop strap that I have here. So I've been upping my fitness game. I went to the gym 5 times this week, the F45 training, which is pretty intense. So I went like 3 days in a row, took a day off, and then I went 2 days in a row, and I'm going to take tomorrow off. But I've been like watching my diet and doing a little more exercise. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. We'll get to that later. Okay, so shark shout outs. First up, Mr. Devin Atkins ran a Facebook lead gen ad for $100 a day. He ended up spending $82.08 on the campaign, and he closed a client for $400 a month. That's pretty good. $318 profit. Man, Devin, congratulations. That's awesome. Mr. Roger Chappell closed an existing client for a custom development software as a service, 45 grand plus 3,000 a month for ongoing development and content marketing. Man, look, that deserves some applause. That is a huge deal. $48,000, Roger. Man, you know what? I got to play this for you because this deserves this.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Cheating, bling, bling, cut the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
And if anybody else closes a $48,000 deal, I'll play the money song for you too. That's awesome. And you can just send us our 10%. You can just send it to the office in Maui. Just kidding. Roger, that's amazing. Great work. Bill Stanley sold 2 project management contracts, 1,000 and 1,200. Awesome work, Bill. Dollar Bill, as we call them in the Remote Millionaires program, closing deals, taking names. Seth Brown. Seth closed a $1,700 a month SEO deal, plus Google ads on the table to be started in the next 3 months. Congratulations, Seth. Congratulations. Jerry Wright signed up just over 1,000 pounds. That's 1,183 US dollars this week. A mix of Google ads and SEO clients. Congratulations, Jerry. And then our very own, the fisherman himself, fishing in the Hawaii pond for agency clients. They shared 2 new deals. They got a $5,500 and a $3,500 for services including SEO, social media management, retargeting, and Google ads. So that's our own Mr. Nick Ponte. So congratulations, everybody out there. That's awesome. That is a total, if you're keeping track at home, last week of $62,483 for the week of August 13th through August 19th. That is more than my year's salary when I was a restaurant manager, just so you guys know. More than my year's salary. That's a grand total since the start of 2022 of $941,672. We are so close. I bet we hit $1 million next week. If not next week, for sure the week after. And we still got a bunch of months to go with this year, man. We are going to crush it. You guys are crushing it. I mean, this is all you. I'm just reporting what you share, right? So congratulations to everybody out there in the group that are taking action, that are prospecting, they're doing the thing, right? They're doing it. So congratulations, everybody. Big pat on the back. Enrique says awesome. Michael says, that's right. Damn. Yeah. Keep sharing those wins. Contract all the winners. By the way, if you're new to our Friday Aloha Marketing Live Jam session, you should go over to this link. Where is it? Here it is. You want to go over to this link. That'll take you directly to that Facebook post. Put a way to go, good job in the comments there. And at the end of the stream, we'll give away some Cash App money. That's right. Cold hard cash. All you got to do is tell them good job. So head over there and do that. Cool. All right. Let's see. Why don't we do the member of the week? And then we can start bringing our guest out. So here we go. Let me see. I got to find this. All right. So every week we reward somebody for being a good steward of our community, and we give them that's right, member of the week. So they get this very special, look at this thing. This very special Offline Sharks swag box filled with unknown treasures. Only the recipients know what's inside. So far, we've been able to keep it a secret. And we'll send you one of these, somebody from the team, when you're a member of the week. So our member of the week this week is, I should get a drum roll on here. Dun, 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 Mr. Roger Chappell. Roger, congratulations. That is for the monster close. I mean, I'm still like, it still doesn't, $45,000 plus $3,000 a month. That is an amazing, amazing deal. Congratulations, my friend. You deserve member of the week. Somebody from the team will be reaching out to you. And if you guys can blow this thread up and just tell Roger congrats, we'd really appreciate that. Awesome. Let's stop sharing my screen here. Let me check the Facebook notes, and then we're going to bring out our special guest who has, I don't know where did he go? Oh, maybe he's back there. I see him. We'll bring him out here in just a minute. Let me check the notes here. I see all the congratulations coming in. That's awesome. Awesome. Let me just look at a couple things here before we get cracking. I think we're good. We covered that. Okay. So what we're going to talk a little bit about, right, is how to build a true business solid foundation. I didn't forget about this. So we did a little training on it. We've got our special guest here today as well. We're going to answer questions. We're going to talk about that. We're going to do all those things. So how many people here, by the way, were on the training? That was yesterday. Man, time flies when you're having fun. That was yesterday. How many people were on there? I don't see any. There's a little bit of a delay. Patty says, I missed the book of the week. We'll bring it back, Patty. Dorn was on there. Of course, Dorn was on there. Watched Bill Steady, watched the replay. Michael Marquez. Yep. Okay. Awesome. Patrick. Great. Well, without further ado, then I'm going to bring out our special guest, Mr. Magic Mike Cooch. What's up?
Magic Mike. You keep that up, and I'm going to strip on one of these calls, and then you'll regret it.
Don't get people excited out there. Like,
what's that hairy blazing white thing on the screen?
My wife would be like, "Wow, your live show was really great today." I was like, "What are you doing watching the live show?" Oh my gosh, man! Thanks for taking time to come on and hang out. Oh, Miranda just looked around the corner like, what are you talking about? Oh my gosh. Thanks for taking time to jump on. I appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate having you here. Man, so I know you were talking a little bit about this on the training that we had on or yesterday, which I'll drop a link for the replay towards the end of the live stream here. But, you know, you kind of mentioned in that presentation, like some of those slides and things that you were doing there, that's kind of when you were, you know, getting things going. Maybe you can tell people a little bit about like what's going on with your business model right now, what you're doing, what that looks like, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, you know, the great thing about the model is that it really has not changed in you know, since I started it, you know, whatever it is, 5 or 6 years ago. And the reason why I say that's great is because you know, we talked about this a bit on the call. Innovation is awesome. Being cutting edge is awesome. Learning all the newest things is awesome. But there's a real tax to that, if you will, right? It takes a lot of time and a lot of energy to keep up with that type of stuff. And when things are always changing, it makes it hard to like really get in a really profitable groove sometimes. The nice thing about my business is that it's been the exact same damn playbook since I started it, which is, you know, create content, and get that content out into the hands of the community so that I'm getting their attention and I can sell essentially advertising through it. And use that as a way of getting my foot in the door, getting visibility, getting authority, so that, you know, we can sell all of our various services. So it's going great. The pandemic, you know, obviously, caused I don't even know what I would call it, a hiccup maybe, if you will, because people were still consuming content for sure. As you know, people were locked down behind their computers and stuff, but obviously there wasn't nearly as much going on in the community for a while. So we kind of took the foot off the gas on growth for a period of time, but kept on producing content every week, getting it out into people's hands, keeping them informed, keeping their attention. And now that we're past all that, man, it's kind of gangbusters again. It feels really fun again because things are going fast. And our audience is growing fast. Our audience growth is up probably about 40% here just in the last like 3 months or so. So it's going great.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you know, it's interesting that you talk about like nurturing and building those people in, because I was just talking to somebody in our remote millionaires program the other day, and they were like, well, when you're doing this like outreach and should you like, if they say no, should you put them in some kind of nurture sequence? Like I was like, absolutely. Like that's really all our business is bringing people in, trying to, you know, separate the people that are interested now with the people that might be interested later, and then continuing to nurture them. And we use your process to nurture them. Like we add them to an email list, we send them, you know, valuable content. We do a newsletter, we do case studies. We're emailing them regularly, which, you know, really puts us in a different sphere. And now, you know, we've been doing that all since the start of we started building that list probably, well, right when the pandemic started. And, you know, I think we have somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 businesses in Hawaii on there, right? That know who we are.
Yeah.
They know who we are. They get emails from us regularly. They reach out to us, all that stuff. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's really such a great method. And especially when you're, you know, it does give you that ability to showcase things in like a non-pushy salesman way, like sending out a case study, sending out a newsletter, highlighting things, like all that stuff, you know, is really great.
Yep. Yeah. You're adding value every time you make contact with them, you're adding value. And when you do that, people will stay in touch, right? They won't try and block you or ignore you and that type of thing. They'll see you as a resource instead, that's the positioning you want.
Yeah. And ours is kind of geared a little more towards businesses, but you do like the consumer side, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is it? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, yeah, it's a super important distinction. I mean, I think that every agency should have a newsletter for their agency, which is more of what you were describing there, right? Where you have
that's kind of a little more what we do.
Yeah, and everybody should do that as well. But what I am advocating for and what I do is that you should have a newsletter in your community as well, where you are attracting the customers that your customers want to reach. So if I'm selling to, let's say I'm selling marketing services to real estate agents, okay, I would like to have a newsletter in San Diego of people who own homes or are looking to buy homes or, own or buy apartments, that type of thing, because now I have an asset. I have this list of people who are paying attention to me that I can now promote my real estate agent customers to them through that newsletter. It gives you a really, really powerful differentiation between you and the other agencies who are out there selling services. And it gives you a really powerful foot in the door with those real estate agents when you own that asset and they see that thing going out in the community, week after week. And it gives you another revenue stream. So it's just a really, really valuable foot in the door. It's a very valuable asset to have. And it really makes you stand out in the marketplace. And it's not hard to do.
Yeah. And it really is not hard to do. And a lot of people that don't know anything about marketing do this. I remember my eyes really got open to this when I was on Maui, because there is a lady who, I don't even know who she is, some lady on Maui who has just built a list of people in the, a lot of people there are into like all natural, organic, like kind of new agey. And she's just like, however she can, she's just assembled a list of these people, and she charges the health food store and people to send out these emails. And it wasn't like cheap. And she's like always sending out emails. And really doesn't like no other in game besides that. Like she's not selling anything else on the other side or anything like that. But just did it. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I mean, you could run that just as a business in a local community. Certainly, depending on the size of your community and stuff, it may not be a very big business, but it can be a really nice. It can be a really nice lifestyle business. But if you do have other services to sell on the back end, and so you're thinking about this as just one marketing tool in your bigger picture, it becomes this very powerful marketing tool that just accelerates the sale of your services. That's why it's so perfect for agencies. If I'm an agency, you're a prospect, you're a real estate agent. I walk into your office and, hey, Tom, I help real estate agents with their marketing so that they can grow and sell more homes. And Tom goes, oh, okay, tell me about your services, X, Y, and Z. And then Mike Cooch comes along and I say, hey, Tom, I'm an agency and I help real estate agents market their services so you can sell more homes. And you may be familiar with one of our resources. It's San Diego Home and Awesome Living newsletter, right? And you're like, oh, that's yours? Yeah, that's our, oh, I subscribe to that. I read that. That's a great newsletter. Oh, that's awesome to hear. Yeah, we have 50,000 readers of that here in San Diego. That, statistically, we have all the data on them. They are homeowners, home buyers looking to buy homes, higher income, X breakdown of profession, all that type of stuff. And we use that as one of our resources to help our real estate offices get more business, get more exposure for their business.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a great idea. And I think people really like, another thing that you have to overcome is like, when you think about, a lot of times when you think about stuff like what we're talking about here, most people think about being, quote, famous, but you do not need to be famous. Like, you can have a very small community. Like, I know there's several people, like, it always boggles me that more people don't do this because, you do this as your primary business model. Yeah. We use it as a piece of our business model. There's several other people that are running agency businesses that are using this in theirs too, because it works, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, you kind of become like a little local guy who or gal or woman who knows everyone, right? Like, you have connections, people, you can put people together. Like, you really just become, what's the word? A mover and a shaker in the community, right? By doing these things. Exactly. And a lot of times people, when you're first getting these things off the ground, even when you just go to somebody and you say, let's say you have a newsletter, like you were talking about, the homeowner, awesome homeowners, whatever. Yeah. Even if you don't have a huge distribution, like still a whole different conversation when you say, by the way, this is a thing, this is a newsletter that I'm just getting off the ground. Yeah. Right. Take a look at it. I'd love to feature you in it. I'd love to talk to you about doing all of those things are just, ways to get your foot in the door, get in there and start that relationship, which is really the key to everything.
Absolutely. And it cannot be overstated that one of the single easiest ways to grow your business, no matter what your business is to simply be more well-known. Yeah. And I mean, and I know it's an obvious, it almost sounds just stupid saying it because it's such an obvious statement where it's like, well, yeah, no shit. But how many of us are proactively really doing something to be more well-known in their community? And it boggles my mind. Last night I was at a party at the San Diego Museum of Art here in San Diego, and I was having a conversation. I got introduced to a couple, blah, blah, I was standing there talking to him, and this guy goes, I know you. And I was like, and he goes, yeah, but what do you do? And I said, well, maybe what you know of is I publish there, San Diego. That's it. I read your newsletter. I read it, blah, blah, blah. He's like, it's an awesome thing. I've been reading it for years. He's like, it's so cool. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And it's funny because my face isn't even on it that much. So it's pretty funny that he recognized me from it though. But that happens all the time. And free dinner. I can go out for a free dinner every single night of the week at the best restaurants in San Diego because of the attention of the content and of the newsletter, because they know that we can put a blurb about them in the newsletter. We can share, some nice words about them in the newsletter, and that's going to reach, 30,000 people in San Diego this weekend. So it's just, again, it's common sense. It's like, and yet so few people are doing it. And I want to go back to the easy thing because it's so damn easy. It's literally like a 30-minute a week process to get that newsletter out the door. And I think people overcomplicate it in their mind. They think, oh, I've got to create so much content. I've got to, Mike, you're telling me I got to write a newsletter? No, go look at my newsletter. My newsletter is picture, headline, picture, headline, picture, headline. None of the pictures are my pictures. I don't take the pictures. They're all just curated. I mean, it's like, it's so simple. This is not like a written word, like, oh, I've got to sit and write 1,000-word, newsletter each week. It's literally picture, headline, picture, headline, picture, headline. And that's the newsletter. And it's awesome. And it's valuable. People love it.
Yeah. Well, and you could also like put a lot of value into it just through the things that you're doing anyway. Like one thing that comes to my mind is like, I go to the movies with my kids. Why not write a little review of the movie? Like, hey, took my kids, their age, this and this. They really liked it or they didn't. Here's a real honest kind of review. Or even go out to eat dinner, right? Like just write up a little thing like, hey, I went and had dinner. This is what I like. This is what I didn't like. Like this, you should check this place out. So, not that much effort because you're already doing those things anyway, probably.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Like where do you take your family and kids? What activities are you doing? What's coming to town? Like not super hard to keep track of all that stuff.
Yeah. And the other thing that I love about that and about this approach in general, Tom, is that there's a lot of people, I'm sure, listening to this call right now or in your audience right now who have been hearing forever that they should build their authority in the marketplace. And the way that everybody tells them to do that, which is not wrong, but it's one approach. But the way that most people hear to do that is, oh, I've got to build Mike Cooch in the marketplace. I've got to build Mike. I've got to be an expert. I've got to be a guru. I've got to go out there and give expert presentations and webinars, and maybe I should write a book and all that. There's a lot of people watching this that are just not real comfortable with that for any number of reasons. It could be because they're actually relatively new to all this stuff. And they're like, well, I'm not going to go out there and try and pretend to be a guru. I'm figuring this stuff out. It could be that you have imposter syndrome. Could just be that you're a really private person. You just don't want your face and name out there all over the place. The awesome thing about my newsletter is it's not me. It's not me. I'm getting all of the benefits of the authority, but it's not me personally. It's a brand. It's a business. Right. And so I don't have to have my face out there. I don't have to. So this is another way of doing that, really building your visibility, building the value of attention, but without having it to be all about you. It's a nice model.
Yeah, that's so true. Exactly what you said there. And also, like, I think too, like when you're out meeting people and somebody asks you what you do, because like, I don't know, like here in Vegas, it seems like everybody, the first thing they say to me is they're always like, what do you do? Right. My response right now is whatever the hell I want. You should see the looks I get. They're like, what do you do? I'm like, whatever the hell I want. They're like, oh, well, but like if you're talking to somebody and they're like, what do you do? And you're like, oh, I'm a freelancer. I do websites. I do SEO. I do this. Like you can get the nods. But if you're like, hey, look, well, I have a little startup. Let's say you're just getting started, right? You don't really have any experience. Like, well, I have a little startup. We're starting to publish this newsletter. This is what it's focused on. I mean, it just sounds so, even when you're just getting it off the ground and you're telling people about it, it just sounds so like you're an entrepreneurial type person and somebody that they might want to know,
Well, and it's again, it's value first positioning, which I cannot stress this enough again in those conversations that you're talking about. So I'm out at the party last night at the San Diego Museum of Art. If somebody says, what do you do? And I say, oh, I'm a website developer or whatever, right? You immediately are in this position of salesperson. Yeah. Like they immediately go, oh shit, don't try and sell me a website or whatever, right? Like it's like people immediately just kind of put up this defensive a little bit. Whereas if I go, oh, I published there San Diego. And what's there San Diego? Oh, it's an awesome site about, all the best things to eat, drink, see, and do in the city. Here it is. Just pull it up real quick and show it on the phone. Oh, sweet. Cool. Thanks. And they're flipping through it. It's a different positioning. I'm adding value. So now all of a sudden the conversation just happens much more easily. Oh, where do you get all that? Do you go out to all these restaurants, right? It's like, it's just a totally different thing.
Yeah, it is. And by the way, you've been on both sides. So we didn't even talk about this at the beginning, but like, I think when I first became aware of what you were doing, you had an actual, like, it was like a 7-figure agency, right? Like I just remember this video of you walking through the offices, right? Yeah. And like all the people are in the cubicles. And I remember turning to Nick and was like, someday, man, we're gonna have an office like that. Like,
Yeah.
but like you had that whole. I mean, you were doing the hardcore agency thing, right? Like you guys were calling and emailing and doing all of that stuff, and then you kind of switched over to this business model a little later. I think I remember you telling me just because it's like a lot less stress, right?
Oh my gosh, it is. It's so funny how life has changed. Yeah, my first business was an IT services company, and I built that to. I mean, that was around 50 employees, and it's pretty funny because actually, Tom, the video that you're talking about, I moved the headquarters from Boston to Colorado, and we moved into this shiny new building in Colorado outside of Denver. And the first floor of it was Everon, my IT services business, and I started Kutenda, my marketing services business. And by the time I sold Everon, which was the first floor business, I had Kutenda to 30 employees up on the fourth floor. So I had business number one with 50 employees on the first floor, business number two, Kutenda with 30 employees on the fourth floor. And that video was me walking around that office, showing that off. And managing all of those employees, one, is a giant pain in the neck. And two, it's a lot less necessary now. I mean, because yes, the way we built our business was like cold calling, so I had a bunch of salespeople and they were cold calling. And so much now can be done through inbound, through automation, through content marketing, all that type of stuff, that I just take a very different approach to it now. All of my team now is 100% distributed, no employees, all contractors. I have 3 kids that I wanted to make sure I could spend a lot of time with during these last handful of years and stuff like that. So I've just been very deliberate about, keep it really lean and mean, which I love.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a great business model. Cool. Let me look here and see if we have some questions. I see one. Not sure this is. If you log in, you can get your name shown if you log into StreamYard. But it says, Mike, do you do any additional cities other than San Diego?
I don't right now, but it is something that I am considering. And I have like every domain under the sun for my brand, but I have not. I'm not doing it just yet.
Awesome. Kathy wants to know, and you don't do you do a print version of the newsletter, or is it all digital?
All digital for now. Also something I've considered, but have not pulled the trigger on. It's all digital right now. Not to say that it won't necessarily be print at some point in the future.
Gotcha. Let me see. Doran says he prefers being infamous.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Patrick says, like the unknown comic, I'm the unknown marketer.
Yeah.
That's great. Let's see. Pardon me, my throat. We answered this one.
Yep. Digital. Yep.
Let me see here. I'm looking just to see if I'm missing any questions. If you have any questions for Mike or anything about what we're talking about, pop them in so we can do that. Oh, here we go. So here's some, whoa, look at that. Somebody said, I went through it and I can definitely agree that once set up, it'll probably take 30 minutes a week per newsletter, work plus time or any. Well, of course, anything is that way, right? And I love the comment here. If you're doing AGM, you definitely should be using this. Like talk about, a way to add value to what you're doing there. But, and then it said, AGM site niche size sucks to make this a bit more. I'm making a more generic version, niche down. So awesome. Yeah. I'm not sure who that was, but awesome. Let me see here. Oh, Doug Page says, oh, so this is interesting. So do you do this as well? So he said, once you build a consumer list, it allows you to also sell your own products as well. Do you bring products to the consumer list, or do you bring just the businesses to the consumer list? How do you?
I've done just about everything. I've promoted affiliate offers through it. I've run, there's some banner ad networks specifically for newsletters. So you can actually just stick banner ads inside of there that you're getting paid on a CPM basis. I've done ticket sales, event sales. I've promoted my own events. I've done just about everything
When
you
you
can
say
imagine.
promoted your own events, like what does an event look like?
Oh, I've thrown networking events. I threw a tequila party on the top of a luxury apartment building here in San Diego. I've thrown media events for like influencers here in the San Diego market. All kinds of stuff.
Ah, nice. I didn't mean to interrupt you with the monetization part. So
No, yeah, no, that's okay.
everything?
I just, yeah, I mean, when you have eyeballs and you have a way of reaching them digitally, I mean, you can sell pretty much anything.
Yeah. And what like services are you doing on the back end?
Content marketing, Facebook promotion, distribution, deals, coupons. There's a variety of things that we're doing. Event promotion.
Okay, awesome. I don't see. I think we got through all the questions. So keep the questions coming. Oh, here we go. Here's another one.
Why did I choose that topic?
Yeah, it said, have you ever done you do both, right? Do you have a newsletter for the agency and one for the public, or are you just doing front facing right now?
No, I mean, we publish, I mean, the answer is yes. Do I have a marketing newsletter? I mean, think about it. I have services that scale and leverage. I have a bunch of like B2B newsletters, not a bunch. I have 2 B2B newsletters, but the B2C, the reason why I chose there San Diego and the best to eat, drink, see, and do is because I wanted something that was broad enough that I could get essentially most of San Diego interested in it. But I, in particular, the types of businesses that I wanted to work with here in San Diego, that these would be the appealing consumers for them to reach. So I work with concerts, events, restaurants, bars, and then lifestyle related professional services like real estate agents and things like that primarily. So those are, my audience is perfect for all of those products and services. So you want to create your topic of your newsletter. You want it to attract the type of people that you are ultimately trying to connect to your marketing agency customers, right? So again, if I was selling to real estate agents, if those were my marketing agency customers were real estate agents, I would want to create content for a newsletter that's going to attract wealthier homeowners here in San Diego so that my real estate agents will be like, I want to be in that newsletter.
Oh yeah, that's a great. There was a company in Maui that started up they would do like a neighbor, like here's another thing that you could do for a newsletter too. Like you could have a newsletter based on a neighborhood.
Totally.
Right. Like, so they had actually a print newsletter, but I was like, oh, you could do this digital easy. And they would go every month. They featured a different house in the neighborhood. Yeah. The people freaking loved being on the cover, a story about their house, all that stuff. And they were targeting the affluent areas, but they were doing really, really well with that.
So, the business that does that nationally here in the United States, there's a great article on them that just came out. They're $145 million a year business. And that's all they do. They just do a print newsletter in wealthy neighborhoods, wealthy markets. You don't have to subscribe to it. It doesn't matter. It's a direct mail piece. It's a direct mail advertorial that they just send out every month, and they sell ads to the local businesses before it goes out. It's $145 million a year business.
Wow. Well, listen, we did an amazing training yesterday. Mike went through a lot of the details of this business model, getting set up, all that kind of stuff. If you weren't there, if you want to see the replay, I'm going to put the link up. So it's kind of a long link, but if you go to offlinesharks.com, ultimate-prospecting-replay, you can see the replay. Cameron or somebody from the team, if you can pop that in the comments, I would appreciate that. Actually, I might be able to do it here. So I can pop it in here as well. You'll also see it in the comments, so you can click on it in there. But you should go check it out. Not right now, because we still have about 15 minutes. So if you have questions or if you are on there or anything like that, let us know here, and we can talk about those. So I see another question here, and I think we touched on this a little, but maybe you can give a little more detail. Do you personally create the newsletter content or sub it out?
Yeah, so I do a combination. you can though just curate your newsletter, right? There is so much content that's already out there in your marketplace that you can just curate the content, so you don't have to produce anything. You think about it, like all the things that are going on here in San Diego, to try and keep up with all the things happening here in San Diego this weekend, what to do this weekend, it's impossible, right? And so if you're subscribed to a newsletter, that all that newsletter does is curate, hey, here are the best things that we found, so you don't have to try and keep up with it. That in and of itself is super valuable, right? So you don't have to create original content at all. But the original content that is created for our business, I don't create it. I have either, local freelance writers, or I have somebody on my team that I call as a content assembler. She's not a writer, she's a content assembler. And most of the content then that we get, we either find like, something on Facebook, somebody posts their event on Facebook, and we just, kind of extract that over to ours, or PR firms send it to us for free. At this point, our brand has so much visibility in San Diego that PR firms send us 20, 25, 30, 40 pieces of content every single day. So
wow.
we just get free content just sent to us constantly.
So that kind of leads to our next question. Like, so how did you, at some point you had no distribution, right? Like you were just starting from scratch. So maybe you can give a couple of what are a few things you did to get that distribution off the ground? And if somebody, is going to do this, like what are some things they could do to kind of start getting that going?
Two things, and they're the exact same things I still do today. Nothing has changed. I do giveaways. So get a couple of concert tickets here locally and give them away. Or if I was doing this in the real estate niche and I wanted to get home buyers in the real estate niche, I would find something related to home ownership or whatever, to give away. It could be, something new for your kitchen, or, whatever. For your backyard, we're giving away a teak, furniture set, for your backyard for summer, whatever, barbecue, it doesn't matter. But we give away concert tickets, dinner for two at restaurants, stuff like that, just constantly. And then the other thing is just simple, very inexpensive Facebook ad campaigns. So just promoting those giveaways, and your opt-in using Facebook ads. We'll spend like $5 a day on Facebook ads to promote something, and just let it run.
Yeah, Dorn want to know, have you applied a viral loop good karma list machine kind of thing to do it?
I do. We have UpViral that we use. To be honest with you though, and I haven't done a whole lot to try and optimize it or anything like that, but if we get a 10% bump from that, that's good. It's not like something where you're just getting like these crazy, viral loop going on. So, but 10% is 10%. We'll take it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. All right. If you guys have any more questions, pop them in. There are a couple things I need to do here, Mike, before we wrap up. There's two things. So one is we're going to pick some Cash App winners. So if you haven't gone to the shout out post, make sure you do that. The link for the replay, offlinesharks.com, ultimate prospecting replay, some hyphens in there. It's in the comments as well. You can find it there. But I wanted to do this kind of now because it looks like we have the most people on here. But so just so you guys know, and if you're new to the Facebook group, we make a really concentrated effort to keep the group on point, on topic. We don't let people run promotions. We don't let people do we try to keep people out that are going to spam and do all those things. But recently, somebody snuck in. And so I need a favor from you if you're in our Facebook group. So what happened was somebody came in the group. They've been removed. We kicked them out. We banned them from the Facebook group. So just so you guys know, we love everybody, but we have rules and we kind of enforce them with an iron fist. So we kicked them out. They've been banned, but they have still been messaging members of the group. And it's just, it's unethical. We don't know anything about the person. We have no idea what they're doing. So people have been reporting it to us, but I would like to ask all of you, if somebody ever does that, please let us know. at our support desk. So just send us a ticket, offlinesharks.com/support. Message me, message Nick, message Cameron or Shashawn, any of those people. Just kind of give us a heads up so that we can know. And if you're thinking about doing that kind of stuff, don't, because we will remove your post and kick you out of the group pretty much instantly. We don't really tolerate that stuff. So just be nice and kind to everybody. All right. I had wanted to get that out of the way. And then let me see. So Michael says we love everybody until you make us mad. No. I'm trying to think of what else. So giveaways, things like that are great. And now did you just bite the bullet for some of those giveaways and purchase those things, or were you able to get them donated from people?
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to get them donated. Honestly, it's just like a time trade-off. So it's very easy to get them donated. If you reach out to just a few businesses, one of them will say yes. So it doesn't take long at all. And at this point, we have businesses just coming to us constantly, just saying, "Hey, we do a giveaway of this," and so we get to pick which ones we want to do. But look, the reality is, you guys got to think strategic too, right? Okay, so here's the deal. Like, we had a movie, a film festival come to us, and they were saying, "Hey, we'll give away tickets to the film festival. Plus, there'll be drinks at the film festival. We'll give them snacks, all that type of stuff." And we were like, "Yeah, that's cool. But if we gave them also, your theater is right by this restaurant here in San Diego called Buena Forchetta. That's very, very popular." And we said, if we also did a dinner for two to make it a date night, date night, dinner and a movie, date night at Buena Forchetta plus your movie, it would go crazy. And they were like, "Yeah, but we don't want to spend the money on that." And I was like, okay. So I just spent the money on it. So I bought $100 dinner for two gift certificate and made that a part of my giveaway. Why did I do that? You're like, "Mike, what are you, crazy?" Well, because the opt-ins that I'm getting, though, go that much crazier. I'm getting that much more attention, that many more opt-ins. Every single lead is cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. It pays for itself. So am I spending $100 for the dinner? Yeah, but I'm making it a much more marketable offer. So I'm building my newsletter list like crazy. So you got to, think about it as an investment. I mean, because it is, you're building an asset.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. The way that you're thinking about that, this is good, but this would be really awesome. And that means you're keeping your end consumer in mind. That's what attracts people, right? Like, you're making something desirable for them. Again, just like you said, attracting people that you want on your newsletter, right?
Yep.
People that, do that. Sandy said, "Do you have to live in the area of your newsletter?"
You don't have to. No, it helps, certainly. And I think if you don't, so one of the reasons why I have not started other cities is because you got to solve this problem, Sandy. If I were going to start in other cities, I would get somebody local who's my local representative to help me. That could be any number. I mean, that could just be an influencer. You can find influencers in every market that if you just said, "Hey, look, we'll give you free dinners out to all the restaurants and stuff like that if you, do these things for us each month," right? So you just have somebody that helps you keep your finger on the pulse of that community. So it comes across as a local newsletter, not a newsletter being written by outsiders. So you could find somebody, like if I was doing their San Diego, I would find somebody in the local market. If I was doing their Vegas, right? And I would get Tom and I'd say, "Hey, Tom, every weekend, here's what we need from you. We need a list of the 10 things going on in Vegas that locals would want to know about that you think would be, cool to share." So each week, Tom has to find those things that, he's local. It's going to be easier for him. That would pretty much be it. I mean, just like simple stuff like that to help you with, but it's not, it's not real difficult. You can definitely do it.
Awesome. Patty says, "You make a good Nick."
Me? I make a good Nick?
She said, "Mike, you make a good Nick."
That's awesome.
I had to get that in. Let's see. Jacqueline was curious, what are your follow numbers on the newsletter?
We're at what, 30, like right around 30,000 in San Diego.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome. And I know inside I know inside the training that you have a lot of templates and things that you've worked out to make all this process super easy.
Yeah.
Pretty much cut and paste, drop in, like not a lot of work. Do you also have things in there about like, you mentioned kind of running the Facebook ads campaign. Do you have anything in there about that and examples of ads you did and all that stuff?
Yeah, I got landing page template, ad templates, got my sales funnel in there. Yeah, I got, everything to make it as turnkey as possible.
Yeah.
Thank you, Curtis. Great. I appreciate it.
Let's see. I'm looking on here. I think we got all of them. Okay. Awesome. Well, that was great stuff. Like, again, if you haven't checked out the training, you should check out the training. And look, like I said, Nick and I use this method. Like, we use it in the agency. We do these things day in and day out. We know they work. So I highly recommend watch the replay. Jump in. The offer, by the way, Mike made an offer at the end. It's a crazy offer. You won't find it anywhere else. He did it for us. We appreciate that, by the way, but it's definitely an awesome deal. You guys should check it out for sure. If you have any questions, just hit us up in the Facebook group or let us know and support. One more thing we want to do. We need to give away some Cash App money for people that went and left some comments. So here, one more time. Here we go.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
Dollar. Ching, bling, bling, chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
So people are convinced that that's me laughing in the background.
I love it.
But as you know, it's not me. I was not laughing in the background, but people are convinced. So awesome. Our 2 Cash App winners today are Brandon Ludlow and Enrique Fernandez Jacquet. I think I said that right. I hope I said that right. If I didn't, I'm sorry. You are the Cash App winners. If you can put your Cash App tag in the comments, we'd appreciate it. If not, somebody from our team will be reaching out to you. Man, Mike, this was a great live show. I think you were, the last time Nick was gone, you were here too. I think that was the last time you were on the show. He wasn't here either. So
I'm happy to be the Nick stunt double anytime you need me, man. Just call me in. I'll tag team in.
Cool. Well, hey, we really appreciate you doing the training yesterday. Again, if you haven't checked that out, go to offlinesharks.com, ultimate-prospecting-replay. Yeah. This really is one of the best ways to not only generate income quickly, but also build your authority and actually, like Mike was talking about, build a business and a brand. And you just don't know what can come from that kind of stuff. I know you shared an article, I think one time about some place where was that place that sold for some crazy amount? It was like just this little, it looked like just a little rinky dink local news thing. I forget the name of it. Was it Washington or something like that?
I don't know. I'm not sure which one you're referring to.
Maybe Cameron will remind me anyway. Yeah. But anyway, it's a big opportunity. There's a lot of upside to it. Very little downside and risk. So head over to offlinesharks.com, ultimate-prospecting-replay. Check it out. Other than that, Mike, thanks again for being here. Thank you all for being here this Friday. Stay safe out there. Practice Aloha. Nick will be back next Friday. So until then, stay safe, everybody. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Mike. Oh, hold on. I got to find the outro. There.
You've been watching the Aloha Marketing Jam Session, your weekly marketing live show, always bringing you the latest strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with the Remote Millionaires Podcast at remotemillionaires.com/podcast and Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube. We'll be back here next Friday for another live show. Until then, aloha.